Okay, so we've technically been on our Freestyle Footbag shoe hunt for more than a year at this point, but it's the end of 2021, and it's the internet, so it's time for us to make a list. We're going to quickly go through all the shoes that we've reviewed for this channel, some that we didn't review, and try to match you up with the best fit. For each shoe, we'll try to give you a gauge of the quality and how easy they are to play with out of the box, so with that in mind, let's get started. The first shoes we covered on the channel, and the entire reason Passback exists, were the Altra Cayd. The design of these is really unique among the shoes we've looked at, and as we mentioned in every other shoe review, the best quality about these is the springy support. The wide toe box is also super comfortable, and they're the only zero-drop shoes that we've looked at. Contrary to what the review thumbnail says, these are not my favorite shoes of this bunch anymore, but they do really feel amazing to play in, and they're high quality all around. Because of the price of $130, these are on the steeper entry side. If you do buy them, the one or two mods that you can do are pretty easy, and overall it's a great shoe. For the full review video on these and most of the shoes to follow, we'll put links in the description. Next were the Tropicfeel Sunsets. The review still covers my thoughts on these, but the TLDR is price high, support low. If you don't care about the price of $100 and only need to do low impact tricks, then these are great out of the box. The surfaces are good, the shoes are super light, and no mods are needed. For high level play though, they're a sprained ankle ticking time bomb. We didn't get around to a formal review of these, but at some point we looked at the 4 Freestyle Explore Z. These are official freestyle football shoes and were suggested to us by Christian Britting. I didn't love or hate these. The surfaces are a little small, but the material is super thin, so there's great feel. And despite the fact that these are by far the lightest shoes we have today, like 200 grams, the support is pretty solid. They wouldn't be my first choice for a primary shoe, but they're definitely playable. If you can get your hands on these without paying international shipping, then they are ready to play right out of the box for only $65. Also of note, we haven't tried them, but the Puma Archive Lite 365 are unofficial freestyle football shoes, and I assume what the 4 Freestyle were based off of. If you're interested but can only find one and not the other, either of these should give you the same overall feel. Next up were the Reebok Vector Smash Sin. I wouldn't say they have one particular quality that puts them above any other shoe, they're just overall good for the sport. That and a low price of $65. The mod on these is the most involved of any that we'll talk about today, but still nothing out of the ordinary for this sport. I probably wouldn't recommend this as someone's first shoe, but if you're experienced enough, you probably know if these have what you need. We didn't finish the review of the non-synthetic Vector Smash before this point, so we'll just do it quickly here. These are the same $65 as the alternate model, but they have thinner material, are about 20 grams heavier, and are way stiffer. They don't technically need any mods, but it's hard to say that they're ready to play out of the box with how much break-in they require. Once they're broken in, they're really not bad for low to mid-level play. Again, they wouldn't be my first choice for a shoe, but I could have a decent session in these. I could see a new player who is hesitant to mod their shoes getting some use out of these. That, combined with the price, is great, but just expect that you'll have to walk around in these for like a month before they start to bend properly. Lastly, and most recently, we reviewed the Nike SB Adversary. I gushed over these in the review, and I'll do it again here. I love these shoes. These are right in the middle of the Venn diagram in terms of price, quality, and ease of entry. $80, the only necessary mod takes about 2 minutes, and the only fault I can find is that they don't feel like moon shoes like the Ultras. Despite the fact that the inner swoosh is huge, if you're a first timer that would be hesitant to cut it off, you can totally get away with leaving it at first. And unlike the Vector Smash, these are actually ready to play right out of the box with very little break-in required, and the toe box is already opened up. Alright, so what is the right shoe for you? Well, if you're brand new to Freestyle Footbag, I would highly recommend everyone at least try the sport with whatever shoes you already have, just to see if you like it with minimal buy-in. The very basics don't require perfect or even very good shoes, but any kind of moderately athletic ones will work fine to start. Running shoes, skate shoes, hiking shoes, whatever. Even if your current pair are really unfit for the sport, you can just use your bare feet, which we talked about in a pseudo review video. Once you hit a certain level or are enthusiastic right off the bat, then yeah, you should check out one of the shoes we talked about here. When choosing which one, all of the shoes we've reviewed positively are generally fit for the sport. Beyond that, a lot comes down to personal preference, but The best overall option for most players is going to be the Nike SB Adversary. Like we mentioned before, this is the perfect storm of high quality, mid-range price, and low effort mods. And since the design is so familiar to that of the Labor and Quantum, this would be my recommendation for existing players who preferred these. With that being said, I guess that this is the new go-to option for the sport until something better comes along. If you're a new player that wants to avoid mods at first, which is okay, we totally understand, I would still go with the Adversary with the swoosh on. Even without a clean surface, it's still the best overall one you could start with. If you do want totally clean surfaces, then you can look at the Tropicfeel for freestyle or vector smash, non-synthetic, as long as you understand the shortcomings of each. That leaves the Vector Smash Sin and the Altra Cayd. At this point, I probably wouldn't recommend either of these as a first-time shoe, but for existing players, they're a pretty simple one-to-one from older options. The Vector Smash are most like the Reebok G units with their bulkier design. Obviously, you'll be missing out on this very sophisticated box art, but at least the shoes are comparable. And the Altra Cayd are not really like Adidas Climacools, but they're running shoe-esque and the most different design from the rest of the options, just like Clima's were. Even if you're not transitioning from one of those older shoes, both of these are great in general, and you probably know if you're looking for the bulkier feel of the Vector Smash or the bouncier feel of the Ultras. Alright, so there you have our shoe wrap-up and recommendations for the past year-ish. Hopefully we've helped you to pick the right option, but if you have any further questions, feel free to let us know and we'll do our best to help. As for our plans for shoe reviews for the future, we'll keep an eye out for new options and recommendations, but for now we're going to focus on other kinds of videos. Thanks for watching, happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.
That was particularly dumb looking, but
I think that's kind of what we're going for.
yeah, that's fine.
The review still covers my thoughts on these, but the TLDR is
Price high.
Yeah. Either of these should give you the same overall feel.
That goes in the post credits.
What did you do to...
It's just that magic I haven't touched, man.
If you're interested but can only find one and not the other, either of these should give you the same overall feel.